seemed like the second period was kind of getting away from you guys. How big of a jolt, or I guess a confidence boost, was that late goal from Rico?
Well, it was huge. Yeah, the second was terrible. Terrible. Odd man rush after odd man rush coming the other way. So obviously a lack of detail in that period. Loved our first though. First was great. To come out of that 2-2 didn't feel great. You know, it reminded me of the game in Chicago where we had a really good period and ended up 2-2, but it can happen. I think, you know, guys dug in. The power play was huge tonight, and obviously our top guys had a night. I mean, they were exceptional.
Coach, you mentioned the second period lull. It seemed like Alexander Georgiev really kind of held you guys in it during that second period. What did you kind of think of his night?
Well, I thought he was good. I mean, when you look at the scoring chances we gave up in the second period, it's like ridiculous, really. And I think there's probably at least one in there that he'd like to have back, but then he makes a bunch of big saves and holds us in at the end. Like we get into penalty trouble at the end, and you know, they're pushing hard. We're working as hard as we can. They sustain some time. 2 penalty kills in a row, 6 on 5, and he makes all the big saves and keeps it out of the net. So he battled for that win.
MacKinnon was kind of ho-hum after this big night, you know, 300th goal, 4 goals. What do you think about him kind of putting on a Superman kick tonight?
Well, I mean, after the second period and the way it was going, I mean, even the start, like, I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now, in my opinion. And that we're asking that top line to do a lot right now, and they're following through, you know. I mean, Val had 29 minutes of ice time as a forward tonight, 29 and change. I mean, they're doing it all. Val did it all. Power play, penalty kill. Matt gets 4 goals. Mikko gets 2. Yeah, I think they're probably a little frustrated with the way we played in the second as well, but yet especially tonight, they respond and just keep working and doing whatever they can do to drag us out of the mud, and they did.
Coach, does that second period performance take anything away from this win?
No, we need to win. I mean, you need the points, you know, like it's not always going to be perfect, but it just shows me we got a lot to work on.
Coach, Mikko had said that the meeting this morning was very impactful. I mean, he's obviously already been producing, but what does that say for the effect of the rest of the team?
I think like I know those guys, especially those guys, because we've been together a long time and they care. And sometimes they can get off track a little bit, but I think it's, like I said, the conversations after the meetings and comments, they're looking for solutions, and those guys are bought in. And you watch them follow up a poor game in Chicago, a game we didn't like the results in, didn't like what we gave up. You know, we've had a handful of those meetings already, and for those guys to take ownership and get together and have that meeting, to me, shows strong leadership, strong character, and just got to keep working to get everyone on the same page.
You mentioned Val's ice time over 5 minutes, PP over 5 minutes on the PK. He's got 13 goals in his last 18 games. I guess to you, does it feel like he's surpassed the player he was before all those injuries in 2022?
I mean, this is as good as I've seen him play. Yeah, I mean, he was like that cup run playoffs, that time of year, that sets the standard of probably the best I've ever seen Val play, but this is right there with it, you know, for this long a stretch.
17 games in a row for a point, with a point for Nate. Is he the best player in the world right now from what you can tell?
I think you're going to look at all those players, and they're all different, and they all go on their runs and streaks and whatnot, but, I mean, he's been exceptional, you know. And I've seen him, you know, play amazing games without contributing as much offensively, but you know, playoffs, different assignments, his buy-in, which for me I think is really important, that you're able to be flexible and do whatever the team needs you to do to win as a leader. And right now we need those guys to help produce offense, and he's done it for 17 games in a row.
Coach, turnovers have still been kind of an issue, and obviously in that second period, how has that something that can be rectified?
Well, good question. I don't have the answer.
What do you think about the penalty kills at the end, getting those 3 penalty kills?
I thought it was huge. And to be honest with you, I mean, those guys, they work. Well, we obviously made a huge mistake on the first goal, like it's a backdoor tap in through the seam. But, some of our penalty killers in the box running a short bench during that time, I thought they were highly competitive. It wasn't always perfect, and they were battling through some stuff too. Like, I feel like they probably had minimum 3 penalties, blatant penalties, while we're killing penalties. I think that's, and they're still fighting through it to keep the puck out of the net. I think that's huge.
Couple last ones.
29 minutes, you probably don't want to play him that much, so what do you kind of need to see
No.
from everyone else to, I guess?
More. I need to see more. But we're playing to win. I'll play him 39 minutes if I have to.
Is there concern in a game like this where you're getting production from the top guys, top line, they're going, but not much else from the
Well,
rest?
like I said before, we got lots to work on. If we're not going to score, we better be better defensively than we were in the second.
Good to have stuff to work on in a win, though.
What's that?
Good to have
Yeah,
stuff to
no,
work on.
absolutely. We'd rather be working on stuff after a win than after a loss.
All right, thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.